Islam. 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 Happy holy day, peacemakers. Peace, peace, peace. Get started here in a sec. I'll share the room. Welcome to World Temple Branch Temple number 24 of the Moorish Temple of America. We're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed that they may learn to love instead of hate. Come link yourself with the family of nations by clicking that block of words at the top that says World Temple. We're going to get started here in a second. I'm going to open this up with our divine supplication. But first thing first, I want to give all honors to the divine creator, whatever name you want to make reference to the divine creator. That is your personal business. But I want to give honors to the prophet Noble Drew Ali. I want to give honors to those that came after the prophet. I see you down there, Crypto. I want to give honors to those that will be here in participation tonight. And all things Moorish. I'm not sure if you're a member of the house, Noble. Let me know in the chat if you joined the house. That way I can bring you up on stage. That's pretty much one of the house rules. We make sure everyone is at least a member of the temple before we bring them up on stage. Let me know in the chat and I'll go ahead and bring you up. But we're going to get the room, make sure we share the room for the day. True peace to all the peacemakers. Happy holy day. I hope y'all are enjoying y'all Friday today. We're going to get started. Just let me share the room real quick. Oh, they added sharing on Clubhouse back. Well, I hope they share I hope they allow us to download our recordings, because that's my biggest concern for the platform. So go ahead and share the room. All right. Share to the good old social medias. That way we can get the message out that we are live and five. All right. Got one more share, and we'll be getting started for today. All right. Share the Telegram. So let's get started here. Not sure who the noble was. Welcome. Let's get our meditation music going. They still got that. Okay, cool. They still got the meditation. They made a lot of updates here on Clubhouse just recently, so you gotta bear with us. I'm gonna put the link to the Clear Vision Scroll, because that's what we're gonna be reading for this week's sermon. All right. Then we can jump right into our divine supplication here. So I want you to just I want you to get out your hands. I want you to get out your keys. All right. I'm just putting the links on. The link that needs to be on top. Get started. Like I said, I hope they let us download the recordings That way we can make sure our YouTube audience could tap in and tune in with us here. But let's go ahead and get it started. See if we pop up in the hallway. They changed everything about the app from the hallway to how we communicate in the houses. A lot changed on the app nonetheless. As long as they have the live rooms, that's all that really matters. So that way we can go live, still do what we need to do. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, y'all. Jump right into our divine supplication. Get started. All right. As y'all know, we begin our prayers and thinking by using the all. O Heavenly One, the Most High, who is sustainer of all the worlds, we do accept the duty you have laid on us to clean up the filth made by the West and its non-submitting fools. O my sustainer, we beseech you to keep your hand over us, to control the strings of the courses of our lives. Our sustainer, and if we do wrong, please show our divine blessings and forgiveness on us. You are the only one that can raise us true followers of the lose bearers, and in thy name, we carry on. Got that pour down smell around. Got that pour down smell around here. Like it's gonna pour down. All right, y'all. So let's jump into our 19 affirmations. As I state here every week, this is something you should be reading with your family. These 19 affirmations. So let's jump right into it. These affirmations are called What We Accept as Fact, the daily affirmation of loyalty of the children of the Elohim. And as it states, we accept as fact the eternal laws of nature, revealed through science, past events, logic, and common sense, revealed as right knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We accept as fact the highest laws of nature is the cooperation and harmony of all living things. We accept as fact our way of life as a means to the best end. We accept as fact that loyalty is the greatest of all honors, and treason is the worst of all crimes. We accept as fact that what is good for the Holy Tabernacle is the highest virtue, and what is bad for the Holy Tabernacle is the ultimate evil. We accept as fact that the Holy Tabernacle is the finest and noblest organization for all humanity, created by circumstances, and the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek is the noblest of fraternities on and above this planet. We accept as fact that creativity, love, and cooperation are the essence of success. We accept this fact that truth and facts are always and has always been the originator and creator of all success. We accept this fact that all worldwide cultures and civilizations came about from the ancient Sumerians and Canaanite Egyptians and the Anunnaki, or Elohims from the heavens without which there would be none. We accept this fact that for the Holy Tabernacle to survive, expand, and advance, we need first of all a revolution of values and thoughts, which must start within each person by being truthful with themselves and about themselves. Therefore, we completely and categorically reject all myths, fictions, religions, and lies that have not been proven. That would include your heavens, your hells, your hellfire and brimstones, your horny pitchfork devils, your winged angels, and your old man God character sitting on the throne up there somewhere. We deal strictly with facts. If you can't prove it, we don't want to hear it. That doesn't mean we won't listen to you. Just don't expect us to accept your beliefs by virtue of a title such as Reverend, Pastor, Deacon, Imam, Sheik, Rabbi, Minister, Theologian, etc. That is your sensationalism, and we deal with just the facts. We accept this fact that the only true revolution is a war of good against evil, right against wrong, fairness against unfairness, loyalty against disloyalty, sincerity against insincerity, honesty against dishonesty. And this war is fought within each person among the agreeable and disagreeable Elohims that make up your willpower. We accept this fact that the unity of our community and its success will only happen with cooperation. We're all involved. We accept this fact, the total unification of all humanity on the basis of truth. That is, accepting people and races for who and what they are, respecting their culture, their languages, and their beliefs, and expect the same. We accept this fact that the human race, its biological and cultural heritage is now under attack by our own morals, our self-righteousness, our desire to control industry, and these things attack the very existence of humanity. We accept this fact that males as well as females are equal in all things and should be dealt with as partners in all matters. We accept this fact that no one race of people is better than the other. In fact, no one wins the race in racism. We accept this fact that communication between different people is the cure to the ignorance that breeds the disease hate. We accept this fact that a good and well-rounded education could prevent most of the ignorance that plagues the world. We accept this fact that the all is just that, the all. You can't take from the all, you can't add to the all. We are all within the all as one. That is our concept of what you call a deity. To the fulfillment of these facts, we children of the Elohim forever pledge our lives, our sacred honor, and our spiritual zeal. All right. They took down a number of people also that shows up in the room. It doesn't let you know how many people in the room anymore. So I guess they adding things back slowly, so we'll see how that goes. I'm glad they put the buttons back how it was for you to just ping people to the room. We got that back at least. That whole scroll down mess was a mess. So we're gonna jump right into our divine constitution and bylaws and our Moorish prayer for this week. Get things started. While I ping a couple people to the room to join us. Halfway. Have some of the family here. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and jump right into our Moorish prayer and divine constitution. All right. So y'all know how it go. Facing east, feet at a 45-degree angle. 2 fingers up, 5 fingers up. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, by night, and salvation, by night and by day, and my salvation by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Zabuwr. Amen. All right, y'all, so let's jump right into this divine constitution and bylaws, which is something that everyone who are members of the Moorish Temple of America, even those that are not members of the Moorish Temple of America, should look into it. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moorish Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God of love. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Temple of America. No members to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained the Zabuwr, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Temple of America. Being you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Zabuwr, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. All right, y'all, so we're going to jump into our weekly reads. Peace. Hope everyone is enjoying their holy day. Right into it. Chapter 25, as we kick it off here every week. Chapter 25 called the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nation. And as I state here every week, it is the precursor of all actions, intents, behaviors as a Moor, as Moorish people. And understanding the high quality of socialistic behavior that's expected from us Moorish peoples. We are a noble people, so we should be living a life of nobility, a noble and regal way of living. So with that, we're going to jump right into it. And as it states, ye are the children of one father provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother had given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity assist him, if thy sisters in trouble forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. So, as I stated, this is the precursor for all behavior norms that's expected of all members of the Moorish Temple of America, and should be expected amongst all Moorish people in general. So, let's jump right into chapter 47 and chapter 48 for our weekly readings. Chapter 48 is called Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. And as it states, the inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Mexico, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the father and the son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Land joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and all the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who saw them from the land of Canaan, Sheik. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across Great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands before the Great Earthquake, which caused the Great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile westward across the Great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who was able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the prophet, Lawiy, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Temple of America. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Temple of America, that they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every supporting temple of the grand major temples to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. The Prophet Omniversal was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before that great and awful day that is sure to come. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. Islam. So you see right there, the prophet is saying the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. So for the narrative to be going out to say that Moors or Europeans or from Europe, gotta really look into what people are saying, especially when they're saying things just for clout and to sound like they're talking outside of the box when actually they just spewing counterintelligence to get popular. You know, these are things that happen on a regular. So you want to be careful with these type of things. So with that, we're gonna jump into chapter 48 and get into this last chapter here called the End of Time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. As it states, the last prophet in these days is Omniversal, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem man from their sinful ways, and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days to warn and stir up the nation, and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days there came a forerunner of Jesus who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare and meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam. And his name is Omniversal, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. The Moorish Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. That the world may hear and know the truth that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of man under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We as a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation, while we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. The covenant of the great God Allah. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the earthland, which the Lord thy God Allah had given thee. Come all ye Asiatics of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthright, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We're trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourself with the family of nations. We honor all truth and divine pride. So we're going to get started for this week's sermon lecture. Happy holiday, everybody. So they have made a lot of changes here on Clubhouse, but nonetheless, we're going to work through it all. So, as we've been reading this past couple weeks, the Clear Vision Scroll, been diving into the Clear Vision Scroll. As I stated these past couple weeks, the Clear Vision Scroll was the best possible summary that the ancestors allowed me to channel down to deliver to our people, to show the connection between the doctrine that the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York-El, could not really go into at the time. He felt he couldn't go into at the time, which the condition and the environment was showing signs to the master teacher that we was not ready for this level of knowledge that he had to bring. And so the Clear Vision Scroll is basically showing, beyond a shadow of a doubt, proof that the doctrine of what most people recognize or know as, that are into this field of study, as Noon Science and Nuwabu, some of them consider it different. The Clear Vision Scroll is to show that they're practically the same doctrine, or give testimony on the fact that they are the same doctrine and the same information. And as I was channeling the information or the download, the ancestors pointed me here to put this little piece from the Noon Science books, The Nature of Nature, and a little piece from there, from the doctrine and the works of the master teacher and the writings of the master teacher, to show that there's a perfect blend and that they're actually referring to the same information, culture, and science of Nupu, Nuwabu, Naba, however you want to look at it. And what we should understand as a people from the year 2020 and beyond, because I wrote the book in 2015, 2016, at least 4 or 5 years before the year 2020. Did I know that COVID was going to happen in the year 2020? Not exactly, but I knew the cataclysm was coming from the year 2020 to the year 2023. And between that time and 2023 is the opening of the portal. So we're in that year of the portal opening every 10 years, which I'm not sure many people are talking about, or if they, they're bringing it up, or if they're discussing it, let alone if many Nuwabians or those of the prophethood even remember, this being mentioned by the prophet. So we're going to jump right into the next chapters for the Clear Vision Scroll. And I put the link at the top if you want to get you a copy of the scroll. Rob Bob Noble, I see you down there, Noble. Rob Bob. Happy holiday. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into reading the Clear Vision Scroll first in the chapter first this week. Pick up where we left off from last week. But every week, every time we dive into the readings, ancient doctrine to modern day renditions of the information and the messages that are channeling through for that day and that time, and the things that are happening even amongst us when we get into current events and things like that. How things are happening on divine time. So with that, we're gonna jump into this next chapter. Right, I think we left off with chapter 105 last week. So we're gonna start off with chapter 106 or chapter 6. I think we read 5 and 6 last week because 6 was kind of short. 5 was kind of short. So let me double check to make sure, because I know we read 105 and 106. Yes. So we're gonna get into chapter 107 and read from there. Like I said, we ain't gonna stretch each chapter out because some of these chapters are short, so we don't have to stretch them out week for week. But as y'all know, we begin all acts and thinking by using the all. Chapter 107 is called The Faith of a Moon Ray. The Faith of a Moon Ray. We're gonna start it off from there. So we're gonna start it off from there. Let me double check one more time to make sure that we did not read chapter 106. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna start from 106 just to be for sure. So chapter 106 is the sons of a tomb ray. I know for sure we read chapter 5 and chapter 5 and chapter 4. So we're gonna start with chapter 6 just to be for sure. Chapter 6 is called the sons of a tomb ray, and then we'll end it here at chapter 7 with chapter 7 and leave 8 and 9 for the last week of this series of the Clear Vision Scroll. So let's get right into it. And it states, listen to reason. All praise and gratitude is due to the Most High, Natir Shem Natiru. For nothing would exist without El Natir, and if El Natir did not create it. We Atunites are the sons at high noon, the highest point in the existence of the great realities. Rise, 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 ancient pupils, for the Master has returned to reveal that which was forgotten, with the reminder and reveal all that is sacred. A tomb ray is also your Jesus of 2,000 years ago. We, his disciple, we, his discipline, have traveled with him wherever the Lamb has went, reincarnation after reincarnation. I, Levi, Lawiy, Zodok, was told to pick up my cross and walk with the Master, as stated in Mark 2:14, in the Unholy Bible. In the New Testament, meaning test of Amun, which is a test of one's faith and knowledge, wisdom, and mentality. I now know 4. Ta for earth, Mu for water, Nefu for air, Set for fire. Due to the genetic engineering of the adversarial forces of nature, produced the 6th Adam in Eve, called Canaan, or Labana, which means milky white, or meaning lowlanders, and his wife, Singara, the Nubian albino. They are the right and exact opposite of the mellow-pygmy deities, Gentu and Genta, who are the personification of all living gentles, including ovaries and testicles. Today, in this reincarnation as Lawiy Zodok, I walk with the Master as his birth name given to him in this incarnation is Mark Brady, a tuner. So that's not the reincarnation of, I'm not saying that's the reincarnation of Sananda. He'll give us some quick synopsis on what I mean. Is Mark Brady, some of them know him in the Ansarallah community as Barakat, is just one of the masters that I walk with or listen to on my journey. So notice the word, continuing on, notice the word mark, which in Christian theology is referenced for the mark of the beast, which is 666, or Zion, 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 zig, zag, zig, zeta, 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 symbolic of zeta reticula, which are reptilian beings, which are described as the serpent in the genes of Isis. For now, I know 6, freedom, peace, and equality, right knowledge, right wisdom, and a right understanding. There is also the mark of God, meaning those with the name of God on their forehead, also called the 144,000 chosen and sealed of God, which is the opposite of the beast. 999. You have the children of God, and then there are the elders of God, which are 24 in number. Akatriel, Anafiel, Zabuwr, Barjuel, Kimuel, Kaiel, Gagaliel, Haniel, Ufiel, Yehuel, Matatron, Raguel, Quadison, Rodariel, Raziel, Rebekiel, Mahai, Shamuel or Uriel, Yanin or Mikael, Suriel, Yefafia, Zagzagel or Inki, and Sandalphon, who is also Yahshua, the archangels of the one supreme being, the ancient ones. For I am not an I, but I am a we. I am that I am. Ania Dekania. The 18th elder seating the seat of council, Shamuel, meeting those of the rocket ship, which are shams that come in and out of the mothership, Nibiru. I am the great son, Shemesh, kin to Utu and Apsu. Reason speaks. El Elo, another name for Aliyun El, most glorified, who is Anu and exalted, said unto Kadmon, follow yonder cloud. It shall lead you to a place opposite my heavenly throne. Build me a temple there. When you walk around it, I shall be near to you as the 4 and 20 Agigi, which encompass my throne. Kadmon received the plans for the construction of the Kaaba from the Anunnaki. The box that was presented to him by the Anunnaki Gabriy'El to place in the Kaaba, the box was a perfect 4x4 shaped cube made of ebony wood. This was buried near the Lote tree in the enclosed garden of the light. The Kaaba is exactly where the tree of knowledge of agreeable and disagreeable was. He therefore built a temple there with 4 gates. The first gate was called the gate of Enoch, son of Jared. The second gate was called the gate of Abram, son of Terah. The third gate was called the gate of Ishmael, son of Abraham. The fourth gate was called the gate of Muhammad, or Ahmad, son of Abdullah. These 4 gates are the 4 walls and the 4 sides of the Kaaba. The remains of Kadmon, or Adam, is the black stone. It was taken to the enclosed garden after the creation of Kadmon for safekeeping. Because Anu, most glorified and exalted, knew that if Halal had access to the black stone, he would try to make an evil being a twin of Kadmon. This is why the Anunnaki Gabriy'El brought it from the enclosed garden to be placed in a corner of the Kaaba. The Kaaba is the sacred house of Anu, most glorified and exalted. It was presented to human beings along with the rest of creation. El Natil, most glorified and exalted, appointed the 23 elders, Gigi, the Zodok priests, as his guardians. They were chosen for the time in one earth day, 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 6 seconds, or 24 hours, which is based on the equinox that happens every 24,000 years, line with the 4 cycles. 2 moons, 2 suns, each of 6,000 years. The 24th of the elder seat is occupied by whatever human being has been selected to reveal the message or bring the good news. Over him would be one of the elders. Each elder has 24 hours, which is 60 minutes of years. It is broken up into 2 sets of 30 in these end times. The elder from the 19th galaxy, Enuma, manifests with his first 30 years in the lunar logging of the 1970 year of the Gregorian calendar. The first half hour of the end of time for them to separate and teach in various parts of the world, at which time they left the Kaaba destroyed. The construction of the Kaaba is based upon the circle and the square. They are 2 things in existence that are mysteries surrounding Anu, most glorified and exalted handiwork. The Kaaba is located in the enclosed garden of the light, the original home of Kaaba, the planet Earth. Like the human body is surrounded by a force field. The force field contains the planetary life force and the creative life force, or monad. The Kaaba is the crown seat or navel of the planet Earth. Nubia is the heart seat of the planet Earth. The building of the Kaaba was the illustration of the uniform rules of creation as manifested in the movement of the galactical bodies. We Neos must master and learn to utilize the mind's eye and understand the inner workings of your solar plex, the light within. One part of this light was pure and luminous, and the other appeared to the intellect to be inferior. The first was the light, and the second was the fire, imperfect because it was smokeless. Cabin had the light of Anu. This was breathed into him. That light was the soul of Anu, Ru'ul Shil Anu, the source, that part Anu, which is in and through every human being. This special part of him is what the darkness human being's body did not understand, for it was of another world. The body was physical and the light was spiritual. Within and through every human being is the creator. This part is not hidden. It is just not recognized by many and thereby must be uncluttered. But it is still there. It was true in the sense that although it appeared to be one of a foreign nature, its potential was agreeable and compatible for human beings. Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. We are all the sons of Ray with 9 reasons. It's time to remember we are members of Torah, the sun. As it's written, it shall be. So that is chapter 106 for the Clear Vision Scroll, which goes into us being the sons of Atunre. And like I said, I took a little bit from the nature of nature and a little bit from the various texts from the master teacher, the prophet, the master teacher, and put it in there. And some will say it's prophetical. Some just look at it as an addition to the science work. Because like I said, I did write this in 2015, and not knowing exactly that we was gonna have the whole COVID situation kick off. So this was kind of a pre-warning for you to get yourself in tune with the circulatory system, as we went over in previous chapters, and pay more attention to the sacred breath, what we call the holy breath in the Moorish Temple of America, or just universally it's known as the holy breath, the SMEC, the sacred breath. So we're going to jump into chapter 107, or chapter 7, called The Faith of Amun-Re. As you all know, we begin our acts and thinking using the all, as it states, listen to reason. Faith without work is dead. As stated by the brother of Amun-Re in his past life, the trustworthy have fruits of labor that speak for themselves. Consistency is the best of virtues, my faithful ones. Trusting in where the Creator will, trusting in where the Creator has and will guide you, resting on the unlimited credibility of Natisha Natiru, who is the balancer of all accounts, Ma'at. We have come many times before. For now I know 7, the 7 existences: the physical existence, the existence of force, mental existence, existence of truth, existence of reality, existence of the source. You Anunites are the 7th Adam and Eve, who is now called Anunet, who are all descendants of the Ethiopigmies, who are Belo, Balu, and Bela, Malay, personification of living stomachs and intestines everywhere. The Aeropygmies, who are Pumu and Pume, the personification of living lungs and trachea everywhere. The Neo-Pygmies, who are Nabu, Hu, and Nabuhe, who are the personification of living brains everywhere. And the Vaco-Pygmies, who are Bunu and Bune, who are the personification of living skeletons, and Maro. We are the faithful, for faith in the Lamb is truly wonderful. For many has called out, Amen, 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 throughout the world's religions at the end of their prayers, but didn't make it to see our Manubi. We are in the time of our liberation, and the revolution has begun. There is no more time for religions. From noon to pantheism, from pantheism to religion, from religion back to noon. We are the aiders of Natisha Natiru as Ansurullah, and we are the answer, the Ansari, to your prayers. We are not energy vampires who feed off you like prey. We apply Natiru, nature. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. All right, so we're going to leave chapter 8 and 9 for next week. So like I said, I want to dig into that chapter 6 right there for clarity's sake. But it is the message of us being the sun beings, the solar people. And as I stated, this is channelings for me to go and get the information. Same way that the Qur'aan is a reminder. That's what the clear vision scroll is about in scriptural form. So the same thing will be done in part 2, going into some detailed information. And this is actually one of my first scriptural writings, so of course there's some typos, some mistakes you probably find in the writings of the text. But this is why we're reading it and reciting it with me. That way I can give you personal insight. So you guys have this replay, you can come back, or this recording, you can come back and listen to it and say, well, hey, this is what he meant, in case there's any misunderstandings or any confusions about what I meant in certain parts of the text. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into some things from El's Holy Quran. I'm sorry, Circle 7 Holy Quran from the Prophet. Because of course we want to see how the messages of the work that was done in the Clear Vision Scroll line up with some of the things that we've been talking about. And overall, there's Nuwabu as a whole, as a whole. Because the master teacher did affirm that the prophet is the Nabi, he is the prophet. And that's what we consider him as. And that it is what it is. And at this day and time, we definitely should understand the work of the prophet with these public and lawful acknowledgments of the prophet being who he is and the work that's being done. So it definitely needs to be communicated to all the different tribes. That should be one of the things that's priority, is making sure the different tribes of people understand who we are as a people. Because there's a lot of contention about being Native American, being indigenous, being the original people of the land, etc. There's a lot of issues about whether this name should be the name we use to unify under that name, this term, these things like that. And not understanding and understanding the work of those that came before us. Because during that time, they didn't have the sentimental value that we do today with being able to share pictures, share personal events that happened with us, and have these memories to go back and look upon each event as it unfolds through our lives. We have technology that surpasses what they had available to them in the early 1900s. All right, so like I said, we're going to look into some of the things from the Holy Qur'an, Circle 7, just to affirm what we're reading here, or what we just read in the Clear Vision Scroll. Because as I stated, this is to give that clarity, that reminder, this is pretty much the same information. This is the same thing. All right, so let's dive into the Holy Qur'an, the Circle 7 Holy Qur'an from the Prophet. Right? We're going to see what Spirit wants to take us here. Like I said, we don't have a program here. We go based on Spirit, what Spirit wants us to look into. All right, so let's dive into this right here. This is chapter 6. This is chapter 6 of the Holy Qur'an, Circle 7, called Jesus and Baraka. Together they read the sacred books. Spirit kept saying, this is the one. Passed it up one time, come back to it, say this is the one. Come back to it one more time, this is the one. So this is what we're going to go over here. Next, and see how it aligns up with our previous message from the clear vision scroll about us being the sons of Ray and our faith. All right, so let's jump into it. Chapter 6, so y'all know which chapter we reading out of. All right, so just making sure this is it. So Spirit say, yeah, this is it. So let's go ahead and get into chapter 6, yeah. All right, and as it reads, among the Buddhist priests was one who saw a lofty wisdom in the words that Jesus spoke. It was Bharata Arabo. Together, Jesus and Bharata read the Jewish Psalms and prophets, read the Vedas, the Avesta, and the wisdom of Gautama, which is Buddha. And as they read and talked about the possibilities of man, Bharata said, man is the marvel of the universe. He is a part of everything, for he has been a living thing on every plane of life. Time was when man was not. And then he was bit of formless substance and molds of time, and then a protoplasm. By universal law, all things tend upward to a state of perfectness. The protoplasm evolved, becoming worm, then reptile, bird, and beast, and then, at last, it reached the form of man. Now, man himself is mind, and mind is here to gain perfection by experience. And mind is often manifest in fleshly form, and in the form best suited to its growth. So mind may manifest as worms, or bird, or beast, or man. The time will come when everything of life will be evolved unto the state of perfect man. After, man is man in perfectness. He will evolve to higher forms of life. And Jesus said, Bharata Arabo, who taught you this? That mind is the man, may manifest in flesh of beast or bird or creeping thing. Bharata said, from times which man remembers not, our priests have told us so, and so we know. And Jesus said, enlightened Arabo, are you a mastermind and do not know that man knows not by being told? Man may believe what others say, but thus he never knows. If man would know, he must himself be what he knows. Do you remember, Arabo, when you were ape, or bird, or worm? Now, if you have no better proving of your plea than that the priests have told you so, do you not know? You simply guess? Regard not, then, what any man has said. Let us forget the flesh and go with mind into the land of fleshless things. Mind never does forget. And backward through the ages, masterminds can trace themselves, and thus they know. Time never was when man was not. That which begins will have an end. If man was not, the time will come when he will not exist. From Allah's own record book, we read, the triune Allah breathed it forth and stood 7 spirits before his face. The Hebrews called these 7 spirits Elohim. And these are they who, in their boundless power, created everything that is or was. These spirits of the triune Allah moved on the face of boundless space, and 7 others were, and every other had its form of life. These forms of life were but the thought of Allah, clothed in the substance of their ether planes. Men call these ether planes the planes of protoplasm, of earth, of plant, of beast, of man, of angel, and of cherub. These planes, with all their teeming thoughts of Allah, are never seen by eyes of men in flesh. They are composed of substance too far fine for fleshly eyes to see, and they still constitute the soul of things. And with the eyes of soul, all creatures see these ether planes and all forms of life, because all forms of life on every plane are thoughts of Allah. All creatures think, and every creature is possessed of will, and in its measure has the power to choose. And in their divine plans, all creatures are supplied with nourishment from the ethers of their planes. So it was with every living thing until the will became a sluggish will. And then the ethers of the protoplasm, the earth, the plant, the beast, the man, began to vibrate very slow. The ethers all became more dense, and all the creatures of these planes were clothed with coarser garbs of flesh, which man can see, and thus this coarser manifest, which man called physical, appeared. And this is what is called the fall of man. But man fell not alone, for protoplasm and earth and plant and beast were all included in the fall. The angels and the cherubim fell not, their wills were ever strong, and so they held the ethers of their planes in harmony with Allah. Now, when the ether reached the rate of atmosphere, and all of the creatures of these planes must get their food from atmosphere, the conflict came in that which the finite man called survival of the best became the law. The stronger ate the bodies of the weaker manifest. And here is where the carnal law of evolution had its rise. And now man, in his utter shamelessness, strike down and eats the beast. The beast consumes the plant. The plant thrives on the earth. The earth absorbs the protoplasm. And beyond the kingdom of the soul, this carnal evolution is not known. And the great work of masterminds is to restore the heritage of man, to bring him back to his estate that he has lost, when he, again, will live upon the ethers of his native plane. The thoughts of Allah change not. The manifests of life on every plane unfold into perfection of their kind. And as the thought of Allah can never die, there is no death to any being of the seven ethers, of the seven spirits, of the triune Allah. And so, an earth is never plant, a beast, or bird, or creeping thing is never man, and man is not, and cannot be, a beast, or bird, or creeping thing. The time will come when all these seven manifests will be absorbed, and man and beast and plant and earth and protoplasm will be redeemed. Baraka was amazed. The wisdom of the Jewish sage was a revelation unto him. Now, Vidyapati, wisest of the Indian sages, chief of Temple Kabbalistu, heard Baraka speak to Jesus of the origin of man, and heard the answer of the Hebrew prophet, and said, "You priest of Kabbalistu, hear me speak. We stand today upon a crest of time. 6 times ago, a master soul was born who gave a glorious light to man. And now a master sage stands here in the temple of Kabbalistu. The Hebrew prophet is the rising star of wisdom, deified. He brings to us a knowledge of the secret things of Allah, and all the world will hear his words, will heed his words, and glorify his name. You priest of Kabbalistu, stay, be still, and listen when he speaks. He is the living oracle of Allah." And all the priests gave thanks and praised the Buddha of enlightenment. So to them, he was a Tunre incarnate, the unique one, incarnate. So, as we know in this day and time, there are many who are considered Yahshua, or many Christ-like beings that walk the earth. That doesn't mean that they are Christ or Jesus themselves, but they are of the body of the anointed ones. And there's much controversy behind that as well. So this is why it's stated in the clear vision scroll that we'll be moving out of the religious controversy in the phase of the death cycle of nature of religious controversy into the phase of new logical way of thinking, which will be revised out of religion, which you won't have religion in the sense of how you understand it, because there's no spirituality without religion. And they go hand in hand. A separation or a distinction can be made between the two, yes, indeed, but there's still practical things that come with spirituality, because it's stated that you're spiritual, you're free to do whatever you want to do, yada yada yada, and that's what people profess to be what spirituality is about. Whatever they classify as spiritual is spiritual. And knowing that there's actual etherical rules and things like that, regulations and forces and guides and things like that have to be respected. Right? There is universal law that has to be respected. It's not just a do what you want party. There's practicality to spirituality, right? And so with that turns those practical things become the religious practices. So essentially what Yahshua is saying here in chapter 6 is that things are what they are even before they manifest. Beyond the growth to them, whether, as we mentioned here a couple weeks ago, whether you're coming out of the waters, you were still made to become in the image of that Homo sapien. So that image has always been around. The image of a planet, planetary things, planetary beings, planetary order has always been around. Regardless of the evolutionary stage that they go through, each and every evolutionary stage of things has already been a thing in the mind, and that thing is what that thing is. So some great wisdom coming from the prophet, whether you consider that to be Jesus the just, because we know that there's multiple Jesuses even during the time of Yahshua HaMashiach of 2,000 years ago. So that really does open up some brain centers for those that really grasp that concept. So this is why we went into the portion of time that a lot of people, as far as the religions, really lack the clarity on when it comes to Jesus' travels, because a lot of the information that he taught, a lot of the information that Yahshua taught wasn't being grasped even by the people there during that time frame. So whether you consider the spirit of Jesus or you consider Jesus' physical incarnation traveling to these places, this knowledge or that wisdom, that Hebraic wisdom, was traveling and searching for what you call the lost sheep. The Messiah is traveling the world to and fro, looking for those lost sheep. So by the time him, the Messiah, gets there, you don't have that lost sheep in just one location. They scattered all over the earth. So even to this day, with the master teaching and the knowledge that he brought, each different group that he went through, each and every one of them didn't have the knowledge of Noon science, Nuwabu, everything else. They didn't have the understanding of the growth and the evolution of the doctrine, nor the respect of each thing being its own thing, whether that's being the Ansur law, whether that's being Hebraic knowledge, etc. So a lot of things that the master teacher taught, especially with the science of Nuwabu, a lot of people in religion, they missed out on them. So same thing you find here, but rather the things that he learned from the priest, his religion, he missed out on that wisdom of the science or the ethereal science that the Messiah was dropping. He missed those principles because, as being stated, you got to become the master yourself. So it states in the clear vision scroll, right? Walking with the master, in turn, I had to become the master myself. Pick up the cross. So you notice how these alignments of doing the work and the messages that come through from the clear vision scroll, the science itself, the science of Nuwabu, to the ethereal knowledge in the things that was put in the Holy Qur'an Circle 7, they line up perfectly. But you have to do the studying. You have to walk the walk yourself. And this is where, like I said, over the past couple weeks, that new logical thinking comes into effect. You have to be able to get into the new logical way of thinking on your own. So with that, we're going to jump into our current events here, which will be real short because it's just we here for tonight. So the updates that we have for this week, we're going to get into that. Let me do a quick room reset. So welcome to Branch Temple number 24 of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We are a global branch temple of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Branch Temple number 24. We're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed that they may learn to love instead of hate. Come link yourself with the family of nations by clicking and block of words at the top that says World Temple. Join us to link yourself with the family of nations. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into this quick bit of the current events, which is not that much for tonight. Like I said, it's just me. So we're going to get into that, then we're going to move over into our weekly readings of the El's Holy Qur'an. And then we're going to get into our holy instructions. We're going to close it out with that for tonight. So next, I'm gonna pin the link to our YouTube channel here on Clubhouse. Like I say, I hope they let us download. The audio. That way we can make it available to those that are on YouTube. Right. True peace. So we still updating the website to get into our current events. The website got to be updated. We're working on the YouTube automation, starting with my channel where we're putting the videos for the Royal Temple and making sure we got one channel fully automated. Once that's done, we're moving to different channels. That way we can create multiple streams. Also getting monetized on other social media platforms that will be of great assistance to us here as a temple, as a movement and the work that we're doing. So we're definitely going to be getting into that even more. So with that, I want to also acknowledge that we should be paying attention to the things that will be happening with this lecture as it continues to move along. Not sure how the rest of this year is going to play out towards the election, as far as the election goes, but we are inching like inches, we're inching upon that time as we close out here the year 2023 in the last quarter of the year, and we open up for 2024 with the year of the election. So with that, y'all want to keep your eyes open and heavy. As the prophet say, we need to be politically active. We also need to be active here on the highways and byways, whether it's the internet or in real life. We're teaching our people about their nationality and their divine creed and giving them the information that they need so they too as well can make informed decisions. There's a lot of things carrying over from the weeks that's been going on, the situation in Maui. There's many fires across the world, not just Maui. So you want to keep your eyes open for these things. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the reading of El's Holy Qur'an for this week, so we can get into holy instructions on how to join the Moorish Temple of America next, because this is also another great thing of priority for the people to be aware of, because there's much confusion when it comes to who to listen to when it comes to proclaiming your nationality, or when it comes to nationality in general. All right, so I'm gonna jump right into El's Holy Qur'an here. And like I say, y'all want to, be aware of how the knowledge aligns, how it's perfectly aligned from what we just read with the Clear Vision Scroll earlier and the Holy Qur'an Circle 7 to what we'll be reading right now. So just be aware of how this knowledge aligns Alright, so let's get into it. Let's see. Hey, what's up, brother? Let's see what we got here. Hey, mama. Right. So we're going to get into chapter 40. I think we left off chapter 39. I know we read chapter 38 about the light-footed. So I think we're actually on 39 for this week. Yeah, so we're on 39 called Al-Arif, the wall made known, as is known. And they changed it from 39 to chapter 7 in the mistranslation. So as y'all know, we begin all things using the name of the source, Allah the Rahman, who is the most merciful. And this part of the ayat is called the revelation of the Qur'an. And as it states, Alif, Allah, He sent it. Lam, shadow, hour of power. He, the source, Allah sent down. It came from above, the Qur'an, in the shadow hour of power. Meme, Muhammad, Saad, chest. So don't let there be any heaviness or fear in your chest. Katab, a scripture. The Qur'an has been sent down to you, Muhammad. So don't let there be in Sadrika, your chest, any straightness from it. It will solve all problems, so that you may warn by it, and it is a reminder for the mu'mineen, faithfulness. Follow that which was sent down to you from your master or sustainer, Rob, and don't follow others beside him, not us, as near friends or guardians. How little do you remember, and how many villages of Enosites did we, not I, the Elohim Anunnaki, destroy? So our punishment came upon them, while they slept at the shadow hour period, or as they napped in midday. So their cause, when our not his, Elohim, the Elohim Anunnaki, punishment came upon them, were nothing other than that they said, we were indeed of the Zalameen, those in a state of unjustness. So this next section is called the Rasul will be questioned by the Elohim Anunnaki. So these ayats read, so we not his, the Elohim Anunnaki, will question those whom were Rasul, sent to them, and we, the Elohim, also will question those whom we sent to them, the apostles sent. So for a certainty, we, the Elohim Anunnaki, Susana, related stories upon them, using knowledge or stories with inner meanings. And we, the Elohim, were not absent. And the measuring on that day will be by facts. So far as for him whose good deeds weigh are heavy. So these are they who will be prosperous. And as for him whose deeds weight is light, so these are they who are in a state of loss by their very own selves, by being in a state of injustice, because of the Elohim Anunnaki's verses, how they did not read the Qur'an. This next section is called the Anunnaki gave you your place in the earth, creation and fashioning of the Adamites. And these ayats read, and indeed we, the Anunnaki, have given you all your places in the planet Earth, and we, the Elohim Anunnaki, made for you all in it a means of livelihood. They gave us in our motherland all the natural resources as gold, the silver, platinum, and oil. etc. So how little is your gratefulness for what you were given? And we not I, the Elohim Anunnaki, Israel, created you all, then gave you your image by Sawa, fashioning you. We said for all the angelic messengers, Elohim Anunnaki, to prostrate for Adam or Cadman and Zakar. So they, the Elohim, prostrated, except for the rebellious Elohim Anunnaki, Iblis, of the species of the malevolent being, Jinn, also called Azazel or Lucifer, and Halal, son of the reptilian Shakar. He was not of those benevolent beings or seraphim who prostrated. He was of the malevolent beings or cherubim, not a benevolent being. So his next section is called Iblis Rebellion. He doesn't want to prostrate before Adam, Cadman, or Zakar. And these ayats read, he said, what hindered you, Iblis, Halal, or Samael, that you did not prostrate when I not we, commanded you to? He, Iblis, said, I am better than he, Adam, or Zakar. You, Kalak, created me of fire, and you, Kalak, created him of clay. He said, get down. The Elohim Anunnaki was cast from the skies after the battle between the Elohim Mikael, or Murdu, and the agreeable Elohim Anunnaki, the benevolent beings, Seraphim and Azazel, also known as Tarnush, Shakar, or Zuin, and the disagreeable Anunnaki, the benevolent beings, or cherubims. So it is not for you, Azazel, to be Tatakabra, big-chested, pouting with pride. In it, the planet Qui, Tiamat, Earth. So go out from the enclosed garden of the light into our order, meaning the Earth. Surely you, the disagreeable one, the devil, are from the smaller ones, the 200 malevolent beings, or cherubims. He, Iblis, the rebellious malevolent being, said, look upon me, the devil, until the day when they are you Atum, raised to life, taken back through the stars. He says, surely you, the devil, are of the ones being looked upon. So this next section is called Zakar and Nekeba is deceived by Al-Kanas. And it states he, Iblis, Samael, Nakash, Al-Kanas, the rebellious, malevolent being, said, I swear, as you, Adam and Zakar, caused me to go astray, I, the devil, will squat, sit, and wait for them. Zakar seed on your narrow path of the ones who stand up straight. He will be on the path. He will be a Muslim. Then I will certainly come from before their own hands, and from behind them, and from their right, and even from their left, and you will not find most of them grateful. It will be in amongst the Muslims. He now we said, get out from it, this plane, despised and driven away. Whoever will Tabiaka follows you, the disagreeable one of them, verily I not we, will feel Jahannam, a blazing fire, from you all assembled. And, O Adam, or Zakar, Askun, dwell, you and Zarjuka, your mate, Eve, or Nekeba, in the Jannat, or Gan, enclosed garden, and eat of its things, as you desire, and don't go near this Shajara tree, for if you do, you both will be of Al-Zalamin, the ones in a state of unjustness. There was already others in an unjust state. But Al-Shaitan, the reptilian, the whisper, Nakash, Al-Kanas, Samael, made an evil suggestion to them, Nekeba and Eve. Nekeba, or Eve, and Adam, that he, Iblis, manifested for both of them what had been hidden from them. Zakar and Nekeba, of their disagreeable. But Al-Shaitan, the reptilian, the whisper, Nakash, Al-Kanas, Samael, made an evil suggestion to them, Nekeba and Eve, Nekeba or Eve and Adam, that he, Iblis, manifested for both of them what had been hidden from them, Zakar and Nekeba, of their disagreeable inclinations, shame. And he, the whisperer, said, has your master, the source, Ruwan Kakael, also known as Uriel, not forbidden you two, Zakar and Nekeba, to eat of this tree unless you two become Malakim, two angelic messengers, Elohim, Anunnaki, or become from Al-Kaladim, the immortals, living forever. And he, the evil one, swore to them, to Adam and Eve, surely I, the evil one, am a Nasa'im, sincere advisor to you. So they proceeded with their deception. So when they tasted of the tree, the opium from the tree of agreeable and disagreeable, underneath where the scroll of all was, it was manifested to both of them their nakedness. They learned shame. And they began to sow upon themselves leaves from the enclosed garden of the light. And their Ra, who was master, Kakael or Uriel, called upon both of them. Did I not we, not forbid both of you of that tree? And I say to both of you, surely Al-Shaitan, Samael, Halal, Bar-Shakar, the reptilian, is to both of you a clear enemy. Those two, Zakar and Nekeba, said, O Ra, we have put our own selves in Zelim, a state of unjustness, wronged ourselves. And if you, not you, don't have any yielding mercy for us, verily we will be of Al-Kasarim, the losers. He, not we, said, True peace. Greetings, everyone. I'm sorry we had technical difficulties this week and our recording has got cut short, but I hope you all enjoyed this week's Holy Day gathering, khutbah, and sermon, and look forward to seeing you all next week. True peace, Islam.